Okay, so this, I guess, will be a two-part voiceover. So it's, what day was this? This was yesterday, actually yesterday, which today is Thursday, so that would have been Wednesday. So going over to the place where I hit the stump with the Krone baler, and, that's where I'm on my way to. I have to finish up what I didn't do that night, and I'm going to show you what the stump looked like, as to some YouTubers think that I just go barreling through wooded areas with my baler and run into trees and things because I'm a dumbass that doesn't know how to drive his equipment. But as you will see in the next few minutes, what I hit and how it was there, and, unless I got out with a... I dropped my camera. Unless I got out there and stumbled over it. And the funny thing is, I'd been here the day before I hit that stump with the baler, and I went in and out of that very same spot. The only difference was I wasn't trying to pick up the hay on the ground. Now, if you know anything about a Krone baler, which I didn't know anything about a Krone baler till I actually bought one, the header does not have any float. It does not float on the ground at all. The wheels on either end of the header are there strictly for terrain changes in hilly, like ditches and terraces and things like that, dips. So if the tractor dips down into a dip or a rut or something, the wheels will carry the header across the terrain. It just basically hangs there about 2.5 inches off the ground on 2 blocks. And I will demonstrate that. I will show you that feature on the Krone baler. Now, when I first got the baler, I didn't know that those things were supposed to be doing that particular job. So I backed them all the way out, and they actually wore the header to the point where the bushings needed to be replaced. So anyways, welcome to the stump. Okay, so you all want to find the $9,000 stump, or see the $9,000 stump. I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the trees that were removed. Here's the Fancy Pants driveway. And before, I had to go down the driveway and hook a left on the other, right around that telephone pole there, which isn't a big deal. It really isn't, go down there. But there's a wet spot down there, and I was creating ruts in wet areas. So here's the stump. That's it. That's it. So what they did was they cut down one of these maple trees here. There were dotted along, you can see on the other side of that tree there. There was like 4 or 5 of them in here. And this, I believe, is actually a cedar tree. And that is exactly what it is. It's a cedar tree, so that sucker ain't going to rot very easy. It only sticks up, a few inches? Well, there's the hay that got drug out over top of it, and obviously it wasn't mowed. Obviously, no matter what you do, you ain't going to see that thing. You can see where the mower came along the edge here and got alongside of it, and there it is. So picture this scenario. Pitch black. It was dark. The nose of the 8530 is quite long. I go over top of it because my son came from that direction, came up here, and you can see where the hay rake, where he had put the hay rake down and raked that little bit, because there was a swath of hay here on the corner where you miss it. You can see there's a bit there and a bit from over there where Dad had mowed on the other side of it, and voila, he raked it over the top of it. I didn't know it was there, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is actually bring the chainsaw over. Honestly, how much of that stump is sticking up? There's nothing. If I came in on it this way, I would have been fine. But because I came from the other way, it wasn't fine. And it hit it. Drug, whatever the hell that is, it drug it down out into under there, which I'm just going to leave that go. So what I'll do is I'll come with a chainsaw and cut it off. Now, before there was a tree here, I know there was something there. It was all trees, and I had to go in from down there. So there it is, the $9,000 stump. Yeah, do you think it's the property owner's fault that I have, and you think that I should make them pay for that? I don't think so. I think it's just my mistake, my fault. What are you going to do? Such is life. So anyways, I'm just coming back here to finish baling it up, and you can enjoy me doing that right now. Here comes Timothy with a stack wagon. He's down here stacking this stuff, trying to get caught up to me, which has been proven to be quite difficult because the Krone baler runs so well on the, with this 8530 in front of it. And he's making a nice wall of hay. There's somewhere around 200 bales here. Here's part two. There's just some wisps of hay that are left here that Joseph had raked that night. Joe is new to the rake. We all got to start somewhere, so I put Joe in the 7530, I guess, that night. He was in the 7530, and he was raking, and he's learning. It's just part of life. You got to learn how to do things, and I put Joe in the hay rake, and of course it was dark, and you just got to know what you're looking for, and he left some behind, so there's a lot of little snips and bits of pieces of hay that needed to be gathered up even after I was done hitting the raked section. So it took me a long time, and I eventually just shut the camera off because nobody wants to watch me go back and forth across the field to pick up little snips of hay that were not raked. Now, this farm was actually overgrown at one time, so now I'm leaving the place, headed to the next place. But that farm was overgrown at one time, and the caretaker there said, you know what, hey, it's time to clear this off. And of course the property owner said, sure, I would like to have open fields. And when they cleared it off, it came up in natural native grass that was here before the European settlers came here. Big Blue, Indian, Switch, those grasses were all in there. This farm actually produced quite well on that type of grass. There's only one mushroom barn that I know that will take that, and I have a contract for it. So I'm golden. I actually have several hundred acres of this stuff, and the farm that I'm going to right now is the same warm season grass or native grass that I planted back in 2005. It was the first year I had the 7410. I bought that in 2005. It's a 1998 model, and it was a program that the property owner entered into with the state and federal government to put in what we call bird grass or warm season grass. It was partridge pea, switchgrass, Big Blue, and Indian, all in one mix. And some of that grass is like planting chicken feathers. Really, really weird seed. So it took a special grain drill to do it. And I got myself into trouble because I didn't get it planted when they wanted it planted. I planted it when the native grasses would be seeding themselves down naturally, which was the 4th of July. They were going to come and take my grain drill, or the grain drill that they had lent to me, so that I couldn't plant it. And I hid the thing. And when they came to get it, they were pissed, and I mean really pissed. I took it to the field, and I unhooked it, and I wouldn't tell them which field it was in. And they went searching for it in all the fields that they thought that I was going to be planting in, which is stupid, because why would I do that? They would just hook to it and go. And I knew I had a long weekend, so I took the long weekend, and I planted this 35 acres of warm season grass. And to their surprise, not mine, but to their surprise, it was the best stand of warm season grass that they had ever had. And they were actually taking government officials to this silly farm where I'm at right now, jamming this pickup up, and they were showing them what a wonderful, wonderful job the farmer that planted this had done. Of course, they asked my permission, which I said, listen, I didn't enter in the program. The property owner did. You got to talk to him. And, of course, he was like, yeah, okay, but they wanted me to meet them at the field. And, hey, Murphy, cat just showed up here. They just, they came, they would just come to the field, and they wanted to see what I had done, they asked me a bunch of information on the timing that I had planted it, what herbicide that I had used, and it was just really kind of cool that they were pissed at me. These college-educated jackasses were pissed at me because I didn't do it the way they wanted it done, and it turned out to be the proper way to do it. Now, back then in 2005, Google was kind of new, and I had Googled it as to, what's the latest you can plant warm season grass. And ideal time to plant warm season grass, this is like internet information 101, was at between June 26th to September 1. And I had hit the window perfect on July 4th. There were fireworks and picnics going on, and I was out there running an 8-foot government drill across this ground. And they can kiss my white ass if they don't like it. So, anyhow, with that being said, this stuff every year. Oh, here's another thing. Do not fertilize this. Do not do it. Do not do it. That's what they told me. Like, you don't need to put an ounce of anything on. Well, again, college-educated jackass, I go in with a nice blend of triple 19, and I put it on there the next year because I really wanted it to grow really well, and because I needed it. I mean, it was it's a specific crop. I had a specific mushroom barn that needed it, and I needed a lot of it. And so I went in triple 19 and then a little bit of nitrogen. Plus, I had the partridge pea, which is it's a legume, so it gave me natural nitrogen. And that was when they were like, this stuff is just unbelievable. So every year since then, we're talking, 12 years ago, 2005 to 17. So 12 years ago, I did this. It gets thicker and better every year. The partridge pea has since died off. Obviously, it can't last forever because it's not a what do you call it, an annual like the warm season grasses are. It's a legume and it needs to reseed itself. And there was one year that we did end up with, I think it was goldenrod started to come in. So I hit it with 2,4-D and that pretty much did it in. It wasn't good. It did it in. So this field that I'm doing right now is wicked stuff. It's like a 4 ton to the acre material. It's doing really, really well. The size of this field is like 5 acres. That's it. And in this 20 some odd acres that is on this particular farm, I think it's 20. I don't even think it's 20 acres. It's listed that way through the Farm Service Agency's website, or Farm Service Agency's digitized map. But I can tell you right now, it's more like, I don't even think it's 20 acres. He got paid for 35 acres. I had enough seed to do 35 acres. I had a bunch of seed left over. I actually put it down on another person's property because there was just no need to throw it away. They wanted me to destroy the seed, and I'm not kidding you. There was no returning it. It came from Ernst Seed Company, and there's no returning it to there. And they just wanted it destroyed. They wanted me to burn it. Well, here in the great state of New Jersey, it is illegal to burn without a permit. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I destroyed it, and I lied to them because, why would I burn like $2,000 worth of seed? I mean, this whole project, I remember it costing like $7,000 for the seed for this thing, and it was reimbursed to me through the government, and through that government program. But I guess that's the end of the video, and I will just, maybe I'll just stretch it out a little bit. I don't know. It was like $2,000 worth of seed left over. So what I did was, like I said, I found another piece of property. Another property owner was looking to do warm season grass, and I still farm her property, and I didn't have time to do it. They bring the grain drill back, and we put it in what the hell? I guess it had to be September. And again, that crop did not do well. It was the end of September. I had plowed the ground. I made, I worked it up. I did whatever it was I had to do. And, I just had these, I don't know. I just get upset when college boys try to tell me how to farm. it looks good on a book, and they tell you, oh, this is how it's to be done. But the reality is, experience outweighs book smarts every freaking time. If you know your ground and you know your weather, well, weather's unpredictable, but if you know your ground and what it can do and how to plant in that particular type of soil, you'll do really well. But if you listen to somebody that thinks you're on perfect soil, like, I don't even know what perfect soil is. Prairie grass is what this stuff is. They're going to tell you how to do it there, and I just know better, and I did it my way, except for down there on that piece of property. I did it their way, and I sprayed a product that they brought to kill broadleaf weeds. I forget what the stuff was called, and I went in and we sprayed it and did what we were supposed to do. We waited for the warm season grass to come up, and there were wildflowers in with it also, and because they had bought the wildflower mix, which, again, a 50-pound bag of wildflowers is like $2,000. It's insane the amount of money these people spent, or the United States government spends with our money, taxpayers' money. It's really sad. But anyway, we put it on there, and the guy that gave us the spray comes back to check it, and nothing was growing but the big blue, the Indian, and the switch. It even killed the partridge pea and all the wildflowers. The property owner was pissed off that the wildflowers had died. Next thing, I get a phone call that I didn't rinse my spray tank. Well, unbeknownst to them, the sprayer that I used was brandy spanking new. It had never had anything through it. It was bought specifically to do these wildflower patches and liquid nitrogen. That was it. And I only ever used it to spray liquid nitrogen after that. And, it was brand new. I actually built the sprayer, so I know had never had anything in it. I bought the tank from Tractor Supply. It was a 500-gallon round tank, and I used one of those single rainbow jet things. It was a boomless sprayer, because you never know what you're going to get into with the wildflowers and stuff. You'd be in between orchards and stuff, and that thing seemed to work really good. But anyways, enough of me yammering on. Thanks for watching. You could see that stump really wasn't that big a deal, and it's a shame that it smashed the front end of that pickup up, but it's all fixed and ready to go. As you can see here, I'm having no issues with the baler, other than the hay is 4 tons to the acre, stringy and a little damp, and it causes the stuffer to kick out, but no big deal. Anyways, thanks again. Have a good day.